Hi guys. In endurance racing, things can get uncomfortable pretty quickly if your foot has to hover over the brake pedal. Now, thankfully, in sims and race cars, your brake pedal, especially if you have a load cell, is a little stiff. And because it's stiff, you're unlikely to be dragging the brake when you're resting on it. However, because you're still kind of hovering, it's hardly comfortable now, is it? This very quick and dirty mod helps to alleviate some of that pressure on your feet whilst you're doing an enduro, and this is a DIY dead pedal. So what exactly is a dead pedal? Well, it's the footrest that normally sits to the left of your clutch or your brake, depending on whether you have 3 or 2 pedals. Sometimes it's called a clutch footrest, but a dead pedal sounds a little more dramatic, doesn't it? We need a face for our pedal, and for this I've purchased an aftermarket Range Rover Sport unit. You can go as fancy or as simple as you like, spending as much or as little money as you like. You will, however, need to use this unit in your rig, and you need to mount it to, in this case, some 40/40. So make sure it either has a way of bolting it on, or maybe, as in my case, you can use some adhesive tape. I have some pretty large feet, so I've had to use 300mm of aluminium profile. In this case, I'm using T-slotted profile. Then you need something to mount that profile on your rig. I'm using a little hinge here that we can get from the likes of Track Racer. In fact, these are Track Racer ones, but you can find them on eBay or in other places and probably a lot cheaper. Also using a quick release bolt here, and this is really just a bolt with a handle and allows me to make the fitting a little easier in my confined little rig here. Also allows me to make some fine adjustments on angle as I get it into the rig. You can source these parts more frugally in places like eBay than I have. I had some parts lying around, so I've used those. That is also quite cost effective. Assembly for this is pretty simple. Like I said, I'm using a adhesive tape to secure the face to the profile, and for this I'm using the top of the pedal face along with the top of the aluminium profile, lining it up and then sticking it down, making sure that it's square as I do so. I initially tried to do this with a dust strip underneath. That's not really necessary, and actually it harms the adhesive qualities of the tape I used because most of the pedal was not sitting on the profile, it was sitting slightly above. So I went ahead and removed that, and I have a much more secure fitting now. I only have one end cap available for my profile, so I've used that at the bottom to stop it from scratching my rig. However, if I had a couple, I would put them top and bottom. I've purchased some, but they will take some time to arrive. Next up, we add the hinge with the quick release bolt. I've swapped over the bolt and actually fitting from the right side, as it appears in the video, to the left side. That really was to aid installation. On the right side, it was being soiled a lot by my actual pedal tray, so it was very difficult for me to attach it. I could have opted for tapping the profile and installing the hinge through the profile, but at this point I've put it at the back. I think that's probably going to give it a little bit more purchase, as your foot will be going against that hinge rather than just the profile itself. I've been using my clutch as a resting point for my foot for quite some time. Now, that's a pretty bad habit to get into. It means that I'm riding the clutch a lot where I've got it bound in games, and that's probably costing me a little bit of lap time. If this was a real car, it'd be costing me a lot of clutch too. Now, I got around this initially by just adjusting the dead zone, but I don't think this is particularly good for my load cell anyway, so not using that pedal for this purpose will be great. I thought this bad habit I've got into would take me some time to adapt to the dead pedal. However, within about an hour of running through an endurance stint, I got used to swapping over to the dead pedal. I have to lift my foot over the clutch a little, and it takes a bit of time to get used to that, but ultimately it's saving my hardware, so I'm all for that. Installation in this tiny space was difficult. Trying to get under my wheel tray to get to where my pedals are, that's painful. However, it was aided by using this bolt with a handle, and I would advise you do the same if you are limited on space. Just remember to put it in a place that you can actually do it up, because initially I didn't. It was on the right hand side and I couldn't do the damn thing up. There's not much more to say about a lump of plastic attached to aluminium profile, but this works out quite well and the comfort increase is surprising. I was surprised at how quickly muscle memory adapted to using the dead pedal. Now, I don't use it all the time. It doesn't make sense to do it if there's a short straight or if you are having to carry through a long corner. I'm only really using it on long straights. However, the extra comfort is impressive. This project came about because I was thinking about how much more comfortable the experience is in driving my car than driving in my sim. Of course, we're in racing seats and we're at different angles. However, my feet just started to cramp up after a while. So this is my hopeful project to help alleviate that. If you're not lucky enough to be using an aluminium profile based rig, then I'm sure you could adapt this project to your particular environment. What I do like about these kinds of rig is that you can have this almost Lego like approach to projects and just add things on without having to do much drilling. However, if you're not in this situation, then you're probably going to have to drill through your rig in order to attach something like this. If you do manage to get a dead pedal into a non-aluminium profile rig, I'd love to see that project. So please share that with us in the comments. Now, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video about this fun little project to add a dead pedal into your sim rig. If you have, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. To help support me and the channel, don't forget to subscribe or take a look at our merch. And that's it from us in this video. So thanks for watching and bye-bye for now. Bye guys.